Let's continue talking about estimating when you are working with decimals. So we talked about adding last time. Subtracting would be similar. You can round. You can round that to 7 minus 5, and your answer is going to be really close to the real thing. Alright, 7 minus 5 are 2. And so the little squiggly, the squiggly equal sign means like kinda. So that's an estimate. It's kinda equal to 7 minus 5. Alright, let's talk about multiplying. Because, well, multiplying is very similar. So if I took 6.9 and multiplied by 5.012, I could estimate that as, usually with multiplying, it is easiest just to go to the nearest whole number. Right, so that's about 35. Now, division. Division is the one that is more interesting. So it's, let me give you a name for it. It's called estimating by compatible numbers. And this is simply because if I've got, 13, something like this, divided by, if I round that to the nearest, the nearest whole number, I'm going to have 13 divided by 6, which is not a whole lot of fun to do in my head. And that's the goal here when you're estimating, is to be able to do it in your, to do it quickly, to do it on the back of your napkin, or to do it in your head. That's the goal, right? I need a close answer without having to do a whole bunch of calculations. Alright, so probably just the nearest whole number doesn't work as well for division as it does for adding, subtract, because I could do 13 plus 6, 13 minus 6, even 13 times 6, but 13 divided by 6 is a little, you know, you can figure it out, but still, we're trying to find a way that is simpler. So here's how it works for compatible numbers. Typically, my divisor is going to be smaller, and so what I'll do is I will round my divisor to something that makes sense. And here I can say, let's round that to 6. Now, I'm going to round my dividend not to the nearest number, right? That would have given me 13. I'm going to round it to the nearest multiple of my divisor because, hey, that's going to give me an integer, and it's also going to make it easy to do my division. So, right, so multiples of 6, 6, 12, 18, the closest 13 is, the closest multiple of 6 that 13 is, 13 is the closest multiple, oh my goodness, I can't talk today. 13 is close to 12. Okay, 6 times 2. It's closer to 12 than it is to any other multiple of 6. So I'm going to round 13.054, not to 13, but to 12. Alright, because that's going to give me a very simple calculation. 12 divided by 6 is 2. Now for all of these, the test of your rounding method is to plug it into a calculator and see, hey, you know, did I get, if the system is working, I should get things that are fairly close. And this division is actually 2.29 and a bunch of decimals. But so if I'm estimating that as 2, that is fairly good, right? About 15% off, but much easier than having to divide that. Right, so that's called compatible numbers. Because you're rounding to a number that's compatible with what you're dividing by. Alright, let's try a different one. What if we had 13.216 divided by 4.811? Alright, I want you to think about this, and you can pause my video, work it out yourself, and then come back and see. Okay, so hopefully you remembered. Let's round this first to the nearest whole number, 5. Then I round my dividend to the nearest multiple of 5, which in this case, 15 is closer than 10 is, so I could estimate that this is 3. Alright, and so that's estimating quotients using compatible numbers.